Welcome to Hawg Huddle, your weekly opinion-based podcast dedicated to all things Razorbacks. From the highs and lows on the field and court to the biggest stories off of it, we've got you covered. Got a question or topic you want us to tackle? Email us or tweet us your thoughts, and we'll bring them into the huddle. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the latest. This is Hawg Huddle. What is up, everybody? I'm back. Feels good to be back in the chair in front of the light. Been gone for a couple weeks, getting back in the flow of things. Had some things go on. I'll cover that more at the end of the episode. But let's jump right into basketball and the roller coaster it has been since the last episode. I believe my last recording was right before the Mizzou game at Mizzou. After that, though, we went on the road to Rupp Arena, and we were down in shots of BB in tears. Huge win over Kentucky. The former Kentucky players balled out. Coach Cal, they booed him. He got the last laugh, though. Followed that up with a trip to the Moody Center down in Texas and took down the Horns. Two big wins for Razorback basketball. Got us back in contention to go to the big dance. But then Alabama came to town. Nail biter with Alabama. Came up just a little bit short. Followed that up with a loss to A&M. And the biggest thing I've seen in the past couple games is our inability to make layups. I mean, you can call these boys Ambler Fudd because they keep missing the bunnies. But the bad part of it is the schedule doesn't get any easier. We got to have some more wins to make the dance. We're not there yet. But Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on ESPN, we go play number 1 Auburn at Auburn. And it's a smaller arena, but that place is rowdy. And if y'all have watched Auburn play basketball this year, they look like grown men among boys out there. It is wild how good they are. Then Saturday, we'll be back at Bud Walton, 7 o'clock against Mizzou, I turned off the Mizzou game. I was sitting at the hospital watching it with Dad, and I just turned it off. It was bad. Wasn't in the mood. We got boat raced. That's the only way to put that one. I'm also going to say I am not a fan of these late tip-off times. My work schedule just got changed. I have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, which means I get up about 2 a.m. And when the game don't tip off until 8, heck, we even got a 9 o'clock tip-off coming up. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to miss a few games live. I will watch the recording the next day so that I can comment on it with some bit of knowledge. Not that I have all that much knowledge, but makes me feel better about myself to say that. Another thing, what happened to Adu Thero? My viewpoint, he just does not seem to be the same since the Kentucky win. Doesn't have the same intensity and physicality, but let's hope he gets back in his groove because we need him in his groove in order to have a shot at the dance, especially as conference play wraps up. Let's see, what else do we got here? We've only got 6 conference games left. We've got to win at least 4 of them, in my opinion, to have a shot at the tourney. Unfortunately, you have the number 1 Auburn Tigers in that stretch. You've got a Mizzou team that just flat out beat you. I don't know how else to say it in a PG tone, but they flat out beat you. But they're coming to Bud Walton. Need to get some revenge on them. And then we've got a few winnable games in there. I think it'll come down, but there's a good chance that we can take 4 of the next 6. South Carolina at South Carolina is going to be tough. But if we can just capitalize on the 6 games we have left, get 4 of them, I think we are in prime position to make the tournament. But with that, we're going to wrap up basketball. I'm not even going to cover women's basketball. There's no point. I predicted it earlier that it's going to be a rough season, and that prediction has come true. But let's talk about some spring sports. Let's move on over to the softball diamond. Talk about our Lady Razorback softball team. These ladies have come out of the gate hotter than a $2 pistol. Current record 10-0. Bree Ellis is building on a great junior season and just mashing it at the plate. According to what I can tell, because they haven't updated all the stats since their game just wrapped up an hour or two before recording this, she's batting .583 with 6 home runs and 19 RBIs on the season. Can't wait to get out to Bogle and see her play again. The Bogle Bombers have only given up 14 runs in their 10 games on the season. But that's not even the impressive stat. The impressive stat is they have scored 94 runs in those 10 games. Not 12, 10. They've already scored 94 runs. Coach Deifel and crew are going to head out to Cathedral City, California on Thursday for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. During their trip to California, they're going to match up with Rutgers, Cal State Fullerton, Loyola Marymount, Baylor, and UCLA. So maybe 12 games to hit 100 runs on the season, but they very well could do it against Rutgers in that first game out in California. I'm going to guess that they're going to have better weather out there than they do here in Fayetteville. They've been on the road quite a bit these first 10 games. They were just down in Louisiana, I believe it was. Got some good temps down there. Good ball playing weather. A lot better than the frigid temps up here. But now we're going to move on to my favorite team on the hill, your 2025 Razorback baseball team. I headed out and braved the cold. Well, not really cold. Very chilly. We'll go very chilly. Temps on Friday to be there for opening day. And this is my second year in a row to make opening day. I hope to make that a tradition, even though opening day is always just brutally cold. Last year it started spitting snow. This year it wasn't as bad, but it was still chilly. Not a very eventful game to start against Washington State, but the streak of the Hogs being undefeated when I'm in attendance at Baum Walker, it stood. Got into extras, 10th inning, and some solid at bats, good base running, set it up. And Brent Iredell, I'm still getting my pronunciations right on the new players' names, so bear with me. Forgive me if I say it right. If you know the correct way to say it, shoot me a pronunciation guide. Holler at me on TikTok. Just let me know. If anybody's hearing it and I'm mispronouncing their names, I apologize. But he got set up, hit a nice sac fly, and walked it off. Perfect end for me to opening day. That was all the chilly temps I could handle, and I was ready to get home. So I headed out before game 2. But with that game 1 win in the doubleheader, Gabe Gackle lived up to the hype, in my opinion. He looked solid on the mound. 5 shutout innings and 7 strikeouts. Will McIntyre came on in relief. He did hang a pitch up in the zone that Cougar batter Logan Johnstone bounced off the Hunt Center. You knew it as soon as he swung. It was pretty swing, pretty hit. I can't say anything else. It was a good hit. Doesn't matter, though. Hogs got the W. Game 2 went much better for the Hogs and for me because it was warm watching it on my couch and a little more comfortable. Cahillo, I think I'm saying that right. Cahillo Aloy Yes, that is Vaheva Aloy's little brother. He just hammered one into the night to end it in the 7th. Hogs claiming victory 14-2. Zach Root, the Eastern Carolina transfer, got the start for the Hogs. And he gave up only 1 run in 5 innings and recorded 8 strikeouts. So pitching looking pretty solid. Anybody who follows baseball knows Hagan got beat up in game 1 in the cold last year. But then he went to Globe Life and struck out everybody he faced pretty much. But I am glad to see Zach Root in a Razorback uniform this year. Bats were just working. Game 3, that was Saturday, as of recording yesterday. Gage Wood got the start. He goes 5 innings. He gave up 2 runs, struck out 7 Cougar batters. Brent Aradell finally got not 1, but 2 shots into the Hog pen after coming within inches of his first homer as a Hog the day before. I still think it was a homer and replay missed it. They said it bounced off the top of the wall. I think it hit a fence post just beyond the wall. It is what it is. He got 2 homers and launched them. I think one was 392 feet and the other was like 409. Just monster shots out into the Hog pen. The Hogs are going to wrap up their series Monday at noon with Washington State. And then they're going to start preparations and the annual trek over to Arlington to play in a climate-controlled Globe Life field. Much better than the weather they're playing in Fayetteville this weekend. Friday night, they will be going up against Kansas State. Need to win that because to heck with Kansas State, especially after last year. Saturday, they're going to face off against TCU. To heck with TCU after the year before last year. And Sunday versus a Michigan team who is not looking like your typical Michigan baseball team. They did get a big win over number 2 either Friday or Saturday. So that's kind of the wrap up on baseball. I'm really liking the talent we've got. Freshman catcher Becker, he looks pretty good in his appearance yesterday. 2 doubles. First double was an RBI double, I believe. Got a little work. He's not as solid behind the plate as Hudson White was last year or Ryder Helfrich is. But a little bit of work, he'll be good. And he's got a good coach on staff. Coaching first base this year, former Razorback catcher Hudson Polk. Coach Wernes has been moved over to third. I'm going to miss the Wernes celebrations at first. Always had some good celebrations with the players when they got to first base, but I really, really want Bobby Wernes to get as much experience as possible because I know it's not really ideal, but I would love to see him be the head Hog one day. Continue the tradition of former players coaching the Hogs. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Before I do, I've got a few shout-outs. I'm going to keep this one around 15 to 20 minutes like I usually do. But before I go, happy birthday, Armando. With the new work schedule, I don't see you much. Hope it was a good one, dude. Armando is celebrating his 31st birthday on the day of this recording. And listener since episode 1. So shout out to Armando. Also, I want to give a big thank you to Brecken for my gift that she got me. I'll post this clip on TikTok, but she found original copies of the Courier Corliss Williamson edition from May 22nd, 1994. This is a piece of Razorback history from Corliss's hometown newspaper. Got Corliss on the cover. I'll just show you a couple things. Corliss top hog is the centerfold. And then a nice little touch that they added. If I can get the camera to focus. Instead of saying Russellville, Arkansas, Corlissville, Arkansas. But she got me 2 copies of those in excellent condition. Found them with a friend going through some stuff. Said that she had to get them for her uncle. I'm going to rearrange this wall behind me when I can get Ashley to help me. I'm going to get some frames ordered. And that centerfold of Corliss will be featured behind me because that's, like I said, pretty cool piece of Razorback history. And in closing, final shout out, I want to give a big thank you to a special group of Razorback fans. Now, I know Razorback fans are special. Been a Razorback fan my whole life, growing up in a Longhorn household. I know Razorback fans are special. But this group of fans has shown my wife Ashley and I just how special Razorback fans can be. As many of you may know, some of you may not, the reason I've been off for a few weeks is my dad's battle with cancer was coming to an end, and he passed away on February 3rd. So I don't have my go-to Longhorn fan to argue football with anymore, and I'll miss those. He was born and raised in Texas. Can't fault him for being a Longhorn fan. But at his funeral, I did give a speech, and I did get one final Woo Pig Suey in on him. But great man. Did a lot for me throughout my life. Still to this day doing a lot for me, even though he's not physically here. But this group of fans, and you all know who you are, they've reached out in support, and a couple that were local to the area where my dad lived even came out to visitation to show their support. I can't thank y'all enough for everything. It means more than you will ever know for that kind of compassion and caring from some group of fans that we honestly just met last year at Baum Walker. And they've taken us in like family. Great group of people. If you watch games on TV, you'll see them on TV. They're front row out in the hog pen. All y'all guys, love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And it was really nice being at Baum on Friday. Kind of just hanging out. Everyone, distracting myself from the sadness and depression. Not really depression, just the sadness and depressing times, I guess is the best way to say it. It was real good to see y'all and be back at Baum for baseball. But that's going to wrap it up. That's all I've got for this week. Y'all keep an eye on the TikTok channel. I'm going to try to boost up the TikTok channel some more now that TikTok is available again. It's not banned. You can download it, whatever you want to go. TikTok is Hawg Huddle, same as the podcast name. I been trying to share a lot of stuff from other Razorback creators on there. Some hype videos, fan experiences, things like that. I'm going to try to do some more on there and keep putting out content. I do plan on back to my regular Sunday night releases on Hawg Huddle podcast. Hoping to get a live stream in here in the next month or two. Just still got some things to work out with that. But if I can get someone to get a co-host for it or a special guest, we'll go live, put it on YouTube. I'll advertise it on Twitter and TikTok so that y'all know it's coming out and get some fan interaction there. But with that, that's all I got. Hope to see y'all around on the hill. And until next time, woo pig. Let me take this opportunity to say thank you for listening to Hawg Huddle this week. Make sure and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Tell your friends and follow us on socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.